Hi, this is Rachel from Total Wellbeing, and I wanted to talk to you today about a bit more about pregnancy and brain training for birth. And we're going to look at the way that you process pain, and we're going to come from it from an approach of you're probably quite anxious, quite scared about, quite nervous about birth. You think it's going to be painful. All your friends and family, as soon as you're pregnant, they just want to tell you their horror stories. They just can't help themselves. So I'm going to talk to you about how I use gentle birth with my clients and the techniques in the gentle birth workshop that we go through to really help these couples start to prepare for a positive birth. So we're going to look at 4 areas. So the first on how we process pain. So the first one is how much danger your brain thinks you're in is going to affect your perception of pain. Excuse me. So basically, we've been brought up, friends, family, sisters, aunties, everybody just telling us how painful and awful that birth's going to be. And so I'm going to give you 2 examples of how I'm going to explain this to you and how it works. So example 1 is a first-time mum, and she's surrounded by people giving her all this information. It's going to be painful, there's going to be lots of blood, yada, yada, yada. So she's been birthed. The way that she's prepared for this birth is that she's been watching One Born Every Minute, and then one day her uterus starts to feel these tightenings. So the uterus then sends that message through the spinal cord up to the brain, to the part of the brain called the thalamus, which is kind of the air traffic controller. So this message goes up to the thalamus. Hey, something's going on down here. We don't know what it is. What shall we do? So the thalamus sends this message out to the pain committee, and the pain committee come back and go, oh yeah, this is that One Born Every Minute. She needs to feel this. She needs to know that it's happening. Send it back down, ramp it up, ramp it up. So that message comes back to the thalamus. The thalamus sends that message down to the uterus, and then the uterus starts to kind of tighten, and that's how her birth kind of goes. So, example number 2, gentle birth mum. She's been coming to my classes every week. She's been preparing physically for her birth. Her and her partner have done the gentle birth workshop with me. They're prepared. They've been following the app every day. They're excited about the day. They can't wait. Of course, they're a bit nervous, but they're excited. They've got this. They can't wait. So these tightenings start to happen again in the uterus. So that message goes up the spinal cord into the thalamus. The thalamus is that air traffic controller. It sends that message out. Oh, something's going on down here. Can you tell me what to do? The pain committee come back to the thalamus and go, it's fine. All is okay. It's all good. All good. And then that message from the brain goes down to the uterus, and that's how her birth goes. So can you see the 2 differences? So 2 different experiences based on how the brain interpreted that stimulus. So that's number 1, which is really interesting. Number 2 is the experience you expect to have. So I'm going to use an example again. So I take your hand and I take a cloth and I say, I'm going to put this really, really hot cloth on your hand. It's going to be really painful. It's going to be really sore. And I take this cloth and I put it on your hand. Okay, so these pain perceptions in the brain are going to go off because it's hot and it is sore, and I've told you it's going to be sore. So example number 2, I take this cloth in my hand and I say I'm going to put a lovely, soothing, relaxing, warm cloth on your hand. It's going to feel lovely. And I take your hand and I put this lovely, soothing cloth on your hand, and yeah, hardly any perceptions in the brain, pain receptors light up because it's what you've expected. So then the last example is I take your hand and I say to you, I'm going to put this hot, searing flannel on your hand. It's going to be really sore. It's going to be really painful. And I take your hand and I take this flannel and I put the flannel on your hand. But I actually put the flannel that's nice and cool and warm and relaxing onto your hand. But because of the language that I used, because I told you it's going to be hot, and I told you it's going to be sore, and I told you it's going to be painful, your brain, those receptors in the brain light up as if it was pain, even though it wasn't. So if you're telling yourself every single day there's going to be painful, there's going to be sore, there's going to be hard, your brain is going to expect that. So we're trying to retrain your brain using gentle birth. So again, I love that. that one. 3 is the spotlight effect. Okay, so where is your focus? If you have a wobble during birth, during pregnancy, which we all can do, where's your focus? We need to switch that focus. So this is where you learn the tools, the techniques through meditation, relaxation, TENS machines, movements, hypnosis, imagery, visualizations. You learn all of this to really help to change that spotlight. So we don't let adrenaline take over. We want adrenaline to be low, oxytocin to be high. But if you do have that wobble, we want to bring you back out of that as quickly as possible and get you refocused. Okay, so that's number 3. Where's the focus? The spotlight effect. And then the last one, number 4, is the emotional state that you're in. So you've done your brain training and you're prepared. But yeah, how are you feeling? You know, we need to get you those endorphins to be high. We need those hormones to be in the right balance at the right time. And we need that brain, that upstairs and downstairs brain to be working right. So we want to quieten down the downstairs brain so that we can make rational and logical decisions. So we don't go into that fight or flight, that panic mode. Anything that's offered to us, we want to be able to think about it and focus and process it and then make an informed decision on what's being offered to us, rather than just getting into that fight or flight where adrenaline's high, and we kind of just lose control. So that's the 4 that we were talking about. So we've got the emotional state that you're in, the spotlight effect, we've got the experience that you expect to have. So remember that hot cloth, warm cloth. And then we've got how much danger your brain thinks you're in. So that's signal going up to the brain and you're sending it out to the pain committee. So if you would like, that's just part of the whole retraining your brain. It's fascinating what you can do when you have the right tools to do it. And I'm having some really great positive birth experience stories at the moment, so I'm full of positivity and I love this program because I know it works and I know it helps partners to be more confident going into that birth, to be able to help their ladies and their partners. So get in touch if you would like a private gentle birth workshop just for you and your partner, or if there's a group of you, if you're all Aquanator friends or you come to my classes or anything, get a group of you together and I can do a group discount for you all. So get in touch, and I hope that I meet you and get to help you on this wonderful journey, and that when you look back on it, it's a positive experience that you were in control of. So only control the controllables, remember. Okay, bye.